My relationship with the ocean started at a young age. I was very lucky to have grown up spending more time than most Canadians around the ocean. It was those experiences that inspired me to become a scuba diver in 2016.
Well, now really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling, you see, we don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall. And it goes back, as a matter of fact, to extremely fundamental things. That there is always a curious tie at some point between the fall and the creation. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life.
Throughout the years, the childhood wonders that I had witnessed were gone. Slowly, more and more of the biodiversity of the ocean was disappearing. More than ever, planetary health is a growing concern. Around the world, we're seeing the impacts of microfiber and chemical pollution on the ocean's ecosystems. From the Southeast Asian and North American reefs, to the European seagrass meadows, and the northeastern Pacific kelp fields, aquatic biodiversity is in decline. Man-made synthetic fibers are one of the main sources of microplastic waste in the oceans. Fashion is the second most polluting industry after oil. Not only do synthetic fibers and chemical dyes affect water quality and acidity, but it also contaminates the food and the habitats of plants and animals living there. As we already know, plastic doesn't biodegrade. Ingesting plastic chemicals such as BPA, phthalate, and other industrial pollutants can bring upon illnesses such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cancer, and create birth defects. In Canada, we're abundant in natural resources. And over the years, we're going to lose most of those resources. We've noticed it on a small scale and are now just recently starting to realize it on a large scale.
My name's Mark Terry. I'm a postdoctoral fellow here at the Donnelly Institute for Global Health Research. And I spent a large part of my career as a documentary filmmaker and an explorer in the polar regions, particularly Antarctica and through the Northwest Passage in the Arctic. There's been lots of changes in the Arctic and, of course, Antarctica, but mainly in the Arctic, where we see a lot of the sea ice disappear. Almost half of it is gone. The darker water is attracting more heat from the sun, as opposed to the white ice, which reflected the sun. So the entire Arctic is getting warmer because of that. There's a lot of health issues and also the physical problems of things coming up through the permafrost. As that melts, we're getting all kinds of seeds and spores entering the atmosphere, introducing new diseases to people in the Arctic that they never suffered from before.
We study the impact of the fashion industry on the environment. We encourage brands to find alternatives to synthetics and to move to recycled or natural fibers. We not only educate brands, but educate people on how to shop and source their clothing more responsibly. After creating 2 sustainable clothing lines myself, I was able to educate people on design and how to do it sustainably. If this can be done on a small scale, think about how well it can do on a large scale. By promoting innovative design with eco-friendly materials and sustainable production, we can improve the health of global citizens, all while improving the health of our planet. A message I have for everyone would be to just get out into nature. Learn, discover, make memories, and connections with it. Because without getting to know the environment, it's difficult to understand why protecting it is so important. To policymakers and change makers of the United Nations, you have the power to change the norms in all industries. Fashion is no different. Creating and enforcing regulations can heavily make an impact on how we treat our environment and how we protect our oceans.